Hey everybody, how are you today? I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. And I know I'm running a little behind today with Coffee with Connie. Hopefully you still have a chance to tune in either live or watch the replay, because I really appreciate your time, and hopefully we offer some good information to help you out with questions that you may have about buying real estate, what the closing process is all about, and all different things that have to do with that complicated process. So sorry I'm a little bit behind today. Several different appointments going on, lots of busy things happening in the real estate market. So just trying to make sure we get everybody taken care of, including getting some good information to you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I look forward to talking to you, and I really appreciate you taking your time. So today I wanted to talk for a few minutes about, what happens after you sign your contract to buy that new home, because the confusing part is a lot of people, especially first-time homes, but also second, third, fourth times buying your home, go through this process, and you just don't really understand what happens after you take all this time to go look at homes, find that perfect house, and make sure that your loan is in the right process for you. What happens next? What is actually happening behind the scenes after you sign that contract? And the funny thing is, you go through all of these things to find that perfect home, and then for you it looks like everything's just sort of sitting still after that, and that's absolutely not the fact. So I wanted to talk to you from the closing perspective, what actually happens after you sign that contract, to try to give you some idea what we're doing behind the scenes to make sure that the house that you're buying is the house that you intended to buy and the property that you intended to buy, but also that all the things go smoothly for your closing, or as smoothly as we can possibly coordinate for you. So I wanted to talk about that part for a minute. So once you sign your contract and your home inspection's done, and you have approved everything that may or may not have been found on that home inspection, then we get to work. So your real estate agent or you may give us the paperwork from that contract when you signed that for that closing, and then we get going. So we've got lots of different things going on there. We have, sorry, I'm running low on battery, so let me, we got lots of things going on here. Sorry about this. So let's get all of this set. Sorry about all that. So we have lots of different things that we are working on behind the scenes. When you sign that contract, we actually take the copy of the contract, and your real estate agent more than likely is the one that will give us a copy of that completely executed contract. And then from there, what we're doing is we order a title search. Now what that means is we actually have a search done of the chain of ownership back 60 years in the ownership of that property. So we want to go back and look at that chain of ownership. Is called the title. The title is not the piece of paper that you get from the seller that says, here, we're selling you the property. The title is actually the chain of ownership through the 60 years of ownership of that property. So what we do is go back and search that ownership and make sure that there isn't anything that could affect your home ownership for as long as you own that property. So we want to make sure that no one else has an ownership interest that hasn't signed off on that contract, that the property that you think you're purchasing is really what that seller owns, that all of the property is what you're purchasing, or maybe the seller's only selling you part of that property. So we want to make sure that all of that is clear, and that we can properly transfer that piece of property from the seller to you. So we're going to order that chain of title, which is called a title abstract, and it is a written packet of information of what's in the land records about that piece of property. And it's actually a chain of ownership back through 60 years of who's owned it, what mortgages they had on it, who they may or may not have sold it to or sold pieces of it to, and what's happened with that property. So some things could have changed, not just them selling from one owner to another, but maybe the property next to it needed to be subdivided, and they needed to put in an easement or a right-of-way for some electrical lines, or for somebody to be able to get to a driveway, so that, you know, the seller somewhere in that ownership may have given away or sold a little piece of that property, maybe not all of it, or maybe there is some ownership rights to that seller that you're buying from over another piece of property. So we want to make sure that you being able to get to that property is clear, that anybody needing to get on your property to access utility lines is clear in the information that we have, that your access to your actual piece of property and any of the amenities, maybe you back up to a piece of, maybe you back up to the water and your piece of property doesn't have the full access to that water. So we want to understand that. Maybe there's a graveyard, maybe there's various different things. So we want to look at that chain of ownership so we can determine what's going on with that property, so we can make sure you understand everything that you need to know about that piece of property. So we'll do that. We're working on that that title and that ownership. And then the other thing we're doing is starting to order some pieces that the lender is going to require, some certifications that need to be done for the closing. So more than likely you're having a home inspection done, and a lot of times with that home inspection, a termite inspection is done. Sometimes the home inspector does that as part of that package. Sometimes the title company orders that termite inspection. Sometimes the real estate agents order that. So that is something else that we're going to be looking at and thinking about. Also a survey. Did you want a survey of that property? Which I'm going to tell you right now, I highly recommend. It may be an additional cost that you hadn't originally thought of, but we can only tell about the ownership of that property and where we think that property sits and what's sitting there. But without a survey where the surveyor actually comes out and draws your house and any improvements that you're buying and where they sit on the property, I can't tell exactly where those things are and be able to advise you about that. And those are one of the biggest problems we see after closing, is when someone later comes back and claims that their fence is on your property, or your fence is on their property, or some of those types of things that could only be identified by a survey. And your title insurance is not going to cover you for that if you did not get a survey at closing. So that's something else we're going to talk about, get ordered for you. So we're going to start looking at those things before the closing, and we're going to start working on coordinating everybody. We work with the real estate agents, we worked at the lenders to make sure that everybody's going to be available at the same time, that all the documents are going to be ready at the same time, all the figures are going to be ready, and we actually start working on getting all of those things coordinated. So once you sign your contract, there's lots of things that are going on behind the scenes. The lender's doing a lot of work to make sure that all of the pieces are falling into place, all of the mortgage approval, the appraisal, all of the things they need to do. And we're working a lot behind the scenes too to make sure that all those pieces come together and that title and ownership is clear for you when you take over that ownership of that piece of property. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of information today, maybe spurred some questions, maybe some things that you didn't know about, that you had thoughts about, that you maybe had questions about. I love to help you with those questions. I'm always here to answer those kind of things for you. And so I'd love for you to reach out to me, let me know if there's something I can help with. The other thing is, it's the beginning of June. My word for the year is execute. Execute to me means providing you with new content every month to help you with the home buying process, the home selling process, to help you realtors and lenders answer questions. This month we have launched the 12 to-dos for first-time home buyers. It's just a little brochure about things that you might want to know when you buy a new house that you need to get done for that new home. It's right on our website, right in the middle, what's new. Click on that. It'll be able to give you, you can download it and give you that good information that you need. It's also going to be on the resources pages on our websites, and it is going out by all of our social media channels and on our email. So if you're buying a new home and you're a first-time buyer, this is something you definitely want to download. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I really look forward to helping you with all kinds of information. If there's something I can help you with, message me here, reach out and let me know. Email Connie at footetitlegroup.com. And if you found what we're talking about valuable, please share with those that you know. I can't reach those people, and I would love it if you would help me get to them and get our information out there. So hope you guys have a great day. I look forward to talking to you again soon. I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.